IE on our mobile app or call us today on 0818297.
Hi YouTube, you're very welcome along to the Recovery Concept.
Credit Union.
You won't hear a lot of the background stuff, but that's okay too.
Liffeysound 96.4 FM.
You're listening to the Recovery Concept with Kieran Murray on 96.4 Liffeysound.
Indeed you are. Very great to be back, indeed. Well, lots coming up on the show today. A little later I may lighten the mood with some of those very interesting, well actually no, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you're somebody that's working or you're looking for a job, it's something that you should tune into because it's really good. But anyway, before I get into all of that, I hope I get a chance to lighten the mood a little later because, well, you know, I like to have that bit of fun and a bit of a laugh. But before I do all that, I want to get into some serious stuff. Now, I'm just listening this morning to some other media outlets talking about, I suppose, the waste collection companies. They're private companies. It's a free market. They can do what they want. Now, obviously, everything has its drawbacks. And with this deposit return scheme, companies are losing out. So they're planning on upping the prices of your green waste bin collection. I don't know how you feel about that. Maybe there'll be stuff put in place, but personally, with the cost of living, with the way things are, I think it's such a really bad idea. But that's not what I want to talk about today, but it's just something that kind of irked me this morning, because you know me, I love my rants. I want to move on to today's topics. And where am I going? Okay, so tonight's topic will be a quite heavy one and involves talk around suicide. Okay, I understand that people get offended or people get upset, people get triggered. So if you are triggered by these topics, I want you to know that you can contact me on the Recovery Concept page. Also, if you want to have a waffle, also you can email me on recoveryconcept@liffeysoundfm.ie. There are also places you can bring up topics, but I will have a chat with you if you need it. You can alternatively, also you can talk to the Samaritans on 116123, or Let's Talk About It. Let's Talk About It is a text app. You can do it if you go onto their website. You can see you can do them with WhatsApp. You can do them with normal text. It's absolutely brilliant. It's very interesting. I think they're very helpful, to be honest with you. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there, and of course you can look up PA the House. They have an 1800 number there that you can call free 24/7. Now the only thing about them is they will ask you if you are feeling suicidal or anything like that, so just be wary of that. They may not continue the conversation if you are not feeling that way, but I know suicide ideation is a big thing. It can be a horrible thing to happen for anybody, so just be wary of that stuff, okay? But try not to take into heart anything you hear on this show. And as well, you do also have a right to reply on this show. So if I do mention any organisations which I have contacted, you have a right to reply. You can get in touch with us here at Liffeysound. Right, so I was just saying about tonight's topic. Anyway, on a previous show, I spoke to a lady by the name of Anne Gregg who had lost her son to suicide. Anne is pushing the government of Northern Ireland to bring in proper legislation around bullying. Anne wants Kenny's Law brought in, which is obviously named after her son, and she wants it to go to Europe, which would present issues because, well, the UK are no longer in the EU, the whole Brexit thing. However, down here in the Republic of Ireland, one mother down here in the Republic has been an inspiration for Anne, and she is Jackie Fox, and Jackie pushed the government to bring in legislation around bullying. Now, in May of 2023, Minister Simon Harris, I can't talk today, launched a Threat to Share awareness campaign, which aimed to highlight intimate image abuse. Intimate image abuse describes the posting or publishing of intimate images or videos online or the sharing by any other means without the consent of the person in the image. Now, where that's all great, that wasn't exactly, Jackie was looking for that, but there was more to it. That was brought in on top of what Jackie was looking for. Now, I'm going to welcome Jackie along to the programme to talk a bit more about it. Jackie, you're very welcome along to the recovery concept. No problem, no problem. Jackie, before we get into all this, the legal stuff and the law and all that stuff, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions around Nicole, or Coco as she was nicknamed. Could you tell us, who sadly passed away by suicide, could you tell us a little bit about Nicole and what she was like growing up in that?
Nicole was funny, bubbly, she was lively, she was very popular growing up, and she had a lot of friends. She was cheeky, like everyone else.
Like all teenagers?
Yeah, and many times I used to run up the stairs after her, and she'd still have to get the last word in an argument. And she was full of life. She loved to sing, and as she was growing up, she loved Drake and Tupac and Chris Brown and Justin Bieber. But Nicole was a dreadful singer. She hadn't got a note in her head, and she was so bad. But she didn't care. She just loved to, go out with her friends, have her music, sing and dance. She was just an ordinary, typical girl growing up.
Yeah, sounds to me like a typical teenager.
Yeah, John. She was a wizard at maths in school, and she wanted to be something like an accountant when she got older. And she also wanted to do a lot of travelling, but unfortunately, she never got to do any of those things.
It's unfortunate that things happened the way they did. Was there any inclination or any signs that there was something wrong, that she was going through something?
Yeah, 100%, Nicole. We were very open with each other, and I knew about the bullying from the very start. And this bullying didn't happen in school or anything. It happened when Nicole reached the age of 18. She went out, to her first nightclub, and it started off with a 23-year-old girl actually that was jealous of Nicole. And the reason why I know that is because of all the texts and threats and videos that one of the girl's mum had sent to me. And so everything that happened to Nicole was through jealousy and drama, but by her so-called friend, if you like. And this main girl that started to pick on Nicole was a coward. She couldn't pick on Nicole on by herself, so she gathered a group to target Nicole. And with this group, the bullying started with small things, if you like. She put her drink on the table and they'd knock it off, or just silly things. But then it started to get more severe when they started to stick cigarettes into Nicole's skin.
It's absolutely shocking, and I just want to stay for the record as well, because I have to. This is public knowledge now. This has been out there. This has been talked about. Obviously, the case is over and all that stuff, so we are free to talk about it. Had Nicole spoken to you about what was going on?
Yeah, she told me everything, from the cigarette burns, from pulling her down the flight of stairs by the hair in the nightclub. They pushed Nicole so hard into the corner of the table where they did it with such force they dislocated Nicole's hip, and they beat her up at every chance they could get. But Kieran, that was the physical side of it, and it was when they went online is what really got inside her head, where every day they told her to die, they told her to hang herself, they sent her videos on how to do it, and constant, and this went on for 3.5 years. And these were from her so-called friends, people who she knew growing up, and it just all because of jealousy, all because of nastiness, all because of so. And they destroyed Nicole. They destroyed from what was my funny, bubbly, beautiful girl into someone that cried herself to sleep every night, someone that turned to self-harm, that did want to stay and didn't want to die, but in the end,
She was driven that way. She was driven by other individuals. I just have to ask. I want to ask this.
well, one main person, like.
The night, and I'm just curious because you said about the nightclub there. Did the staff in the nightclub not do anything? Did the bouncers not do anything? Because I know bouncers in nightclub, they'd be quick enough to throw anybody out for the slightest thing of spilling a drink. Clearly, the staff of that nightclub did not do their job that night. Now, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but clearly there was something there amiss. But I mean, and I know you were saying about the online bullying aspect as well. That obviously we know psychological torture can be much, much worse than physical torture because it lingers and it really gets inside you and under your skin. And you'd obviously seen the messages and seen the photos and that. Where did it come about that you decided to bring in this legislation on top of an existing law?
Okay, it was after Nicole had died, and I found out that when the guards came to me, I said, look, I have every message, every threat, every video on my phone, and I showed the guards, and the guards actually turned around to me and said, these people that hurt Nicole did nothing wrong. Now, the guards were 100% right, and the people did nothing wrong in the eyes of
the law, of course. Now, obviously, socially, ethically, morally, they did, but in the eyes of the state, because people tend to get that mixed up with, I mean, if something, just because something isn't law, doesn't mean it's not ethical or moral or social norm or anything like that. And if a social norm, I mean, if we don't have laws around bullying and things like that, but people are doing them and they become a social norm, there's obviously something wrong there.
Yeah, exactly. And I was distraught when I heard that, because even at the time of the bullying, with the mental abuse, she'd nowhere to turn. There was nothing there to protect not only Nicole but people in the same situation as Nicole, and there was nothing there to protect them. So after Nicole died, and I heard that there was nothing there, and that these people weren't going to be prosecuted, and I had two choices, and one was to go with Nicole, which was very much on the cards, and then the other one was to stay and give me, but if I was to stay, I needed a focus to stay for my boys, I needed a reason to stay. I needed to something to get me up every morning, and not go with Nicole. So I decided to try and bring in a legislation, but it wasn't only a legislation. The legislation was to make online bullying a criminal offence, but there was the other thing was I needed it to be called Cocos law after Nicole, because I didn't want Nicole dead, if you like.
You didn't want the memory of her gone.
Or just because of unnecessary, horrible drama and jealousy. I wanted her legacy, so I wanted the law in the legislation for other people to be protected, for other victims not to go through what Nicole went through, and for other families not to go through what I'm going through living without Nicole. But yes, and her legacy as well. So both legislation and legacy were very important.
Of course they were. Of course they are. But where I'm confused, right? This was you were bringing this in. Now the Gardaí said to you, "Oh, these individuals have done nothing wrong," but yet this was brought in on top of existing legislation, which had been brought in by the Justice Minister and was. But it was around not just bullying, but it was around the whole intimate images or intimate videos and things like that. So that was the only thing that was there. So they could have said whatever they wanted, but if they'd shared, they could only be prosecuted for the sharing of intimate videos or intimate images or anything like that. But there wasn't the whole thing around videos around self-harm and things like that. So that was, I suppose, that's where the problem lied. How did you go about then? When that all came in, I mean, do you feel that the government have done enough for you, that the state's done enough for you, or they've done enough to tackle bullying, or they're even taking it as serious an issue as they should, or are they just looking at this agenda of, okay, it's not, I mean, it's a great thing that we have these things, don't share intimate images, obviously it's wrong, it's immoral, it's unethical, but do you think they're addressing all aspects of bullying?
Right, well, there's always room for improvement, by the way, like, there's always room for improvement. Um, the intimate images went out. The first thing that was out was the bullying, before the intimate images put into the law. With the bullying, is it enough? It's never going to be enough. The only way it's going to be enough is bullying stuff, and that's not going to happen because you're always going to have people.
It's always going to happen.
And social media and TikTok and Snapchat and all that and all these apps. But it's better than nothing. But Cocos Law is working. First of all, with the bullying that I brought in, and then it was 2 years after that, I think. I'll probably get mixed up there. About a year and a half, 2 years after that, the intimate images were brought in. Now, the intimate, even though that didn't relate to Nicole never put intimate images in, but I'm glad they brought that in.
Of course.
It's huge. And now, with the intimate images, you cannot share or even threaten to share an image online or offline with or without a person's consent. Now, at the moment, I know the law is working because with the bullying and the intimate images, at the moment there's over 370 people prosecuted. Cocos Law. There's people in prison right this very second under Cocos Law, with so many more under investigations. And the guards have been fantastic. They actually go around the school and talk about Cocos Law, amongst other things.
As do you yourself. You're going around, you're travelling to schools, your youth reaches, you're talking to students and things like that, which is only right, because and I don't think people understand. Let's just give an example. Say, for instance, I had an image of you, and I don't obviously, but say I did, and I say to you, okay, if you don't do such and such a thing for me, which is blackmail, I'm going to post that image of you all over Facebook. That's obviously punishable by law. I can go to prison for that, which is great, by the way, that something is being done. But could you tell us a little bit about going around the schools, how that started, when it started, and all that?
Do you know what, Kieran? I cannot remember my first talk, where it was or anything. Obviously, at that time, I'm grieving, my head's spaghetti. I'm trying to bring in a law.
You're nervous.
My own name half the time. It's just, you're running on, I don't know what you're even running on, not even adrenaline, because that kind of hides you up. But going around, as far back as I can remember, I do go into schools, colleges, youth reach, youth club, football clubs, parent talks. I go back and forward, with on repeat to every school. I travel all over every single county in Ireland, back and forward.
It must be tiring.
Oh, do you know what? It's the talk alone. The talk is on for 2 hours, and I'm reliving everything. But the traveling, is very tiring as well. But in saying that, it's so beneficial, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't think the students were, if they weren't getting anything out of it. And I know they are, because first of all, at the end of a talk, no matter where I am, they queue up to talk to me. And the things I hear, Kieran, is heartbreaking, of how they're self-harming because of bullying, how they don't want to be here, and you think there they are in their uniform, they're in school, they might have that fake smile on their face. There's a lot of people, a lot of students and people in the workplace are hurting out there because of nastiness. And then if I don't get to talk to them, the messages that I get on Instagram telling me about their lives, and I'll always answer them. So I know, and obviously I know it's working, because the schools are getting me back again and again and again and again, into the same school.
That's actually something I wanted to bring up with you, actually, about students coming up to you, and I'd say they do be nervous. Have you gotten the individuals, and I think I was talking to you about this, but the individuals that would come up and say, Jesus, I was that soldier, I am damaging people, I have done this, I have done that. What would you say to people like that?
The first time someone came up to me, and it kind of hit me, it kind of knocked me back a bit, because I wasn't expecting it. You'd expect the people that were being bullied to come up, do you know what I mean? That the ones that were hurting to come up. And I was getting, packing my stuff away, and this guy came up and sat down beside me, and he didn't talk much, and I said, are you okay? And I sat down beside him, and he said, I am one of those bullies. And I went, okay. And he told me what he was doing to the people.
Mm.
And he said that with the talk that it had changed him so much and that he was sorry and that he was never going to do it again. And I actually said to him, do you know what that makes you? And he said, what? And he was crying and he said, what? And I said, that makes you the strongest person in this room to have the guts to come up and tell me after what happened to my daughter and about the bullies killing my daughter and you coming up saying you're one of them. And I said to him, that makes you the strongest person. Now I still talk to that fella, still send messages. He's not a bully now. I'm not going to say he's...
Obviously, we can't say his name, but I mean, and I have to say fair play to him for copping on and owning up and taking responsibility.
There was another 3 girls, and you know what? When I go into schools, you can pick out who's the soft one.
Of course.
Not so soft, you know, and you can pick out who you can read the people. And there was these 3 other girls that messaged me in a video. The 3 of them messaged me in a video together after the talk that evening, and they said they walked out of that room 3 different people.
And it didn't.
I change everyone like that. I'm not looking to change people. I'm looking to...
You're looking to create awareness, educate people, and get them to see
what that bullying has killed. And you know, you can't turn around and say, oh, we were just messing, it was only a joke, we were only having a laugh. Because the people that take their life because they were only having a laugh, their family aren't laughing. The people that did it to Nicole, I'm not laughing. It's not a joke, it's jealousy. Do you know what, Karen, I always say? Alzheimer's is a disease, you know, Parkinson's disease. Jealousy is a choice. It's not a disease. And I've often heard that saying, jealousy is a disease. It's not. It's a choice, and it's a choice that everyone can make.
Well, and it is an emotion, it is a feeling, and I know we can learn to control our emotions and we can learn to control our feelings. And I know this from training as a life coach, but I'm doing psychology and all that stuff. But I mean, I suppose it's getting young people to that place to say, no, you don't need to feel like that, you don't need to be insecure, because of a lot of it is insecurity. And when people bully, it's not, it's something within them themselves. But then there's people will think, oh no, nothing will come out of this is harmless, that's harmless, I can say this, that and the other. Like, if I could, even if I went out and I said the simplest thing to Adriano's outside and I kept saying X, Y, and he's a big guy, he'd kill me, I did, but if he turned around and I don't know if I'm upsetting him. And if he didn't communicate it to me that, dude, you're upsetting me. Now, that's obviously different from your situation and what happened in your situation. But I suppose the point I'm trying to make is it can be the slightest thing out there that can, you know, that can be causing issues. And there's...
Do you know what also as well? Nicole used to go out with that fake smile on her face, pretending that she was okay, pretending that these people weren't hurting her. And a lot of people do have that fake smile on their face, you know, that pretend I'm okay. And, you know, you could say nasty things to one person and say the same thing to another person, and it could hit them both in completely different ways. And just because someone comes into school or comes into work or comes wherever it may be, and they're smiling and they're saying, oh no, I'm grand, and they're laughing, doesn't mean that they're okay. People do go around with that fake smile. So people then that are targeting them and bringing them down, and that person still goes into that fake smile, you're crushing them. That's all it is a fake smile. It's the damage that you can do to people by bringing them down and making them feel like they can't live another day is horrendous. And a fake smile, you know, can hide everything, but only for so long.
Oh no, that's very true. I always think of that song, The Tears of a Clown, that we put on this fake smile and we think, oh, like we're okay, and when we're not okay, because you mightn't even feel that something is actually affecting you, and it is affecting you. So that's a thing as well. You know, I mean, just on the whole thing as well, you're bringing this legislation to Europe. What's happening with that, or how is that going? Because I know other individuals are trying to do the same thing, but they're doing that in the UK, and with the whole thing of Brexit and that, it's proving very difficult for them. How is that working out?
Yeah, it's actually it's going great. I was I got a phone call from the EU, last May, back holiday May, and they asked me to come over with, at first they asked me to make a little documentary with, about Nicole and Cocos and send it back to them. I did that. They called me over, and I sat into the European Parliament with over 300 leaders from Europe, and did what I felt I need to do about,
Well, and I seen that you were actually, they were very grateful to have you there, to be honest, because I remember looking at the video and I looked at the documentary, and I will say it did bring a tear to my eye, and I have to say fair play to you, because you're very brave, and as a mother you're very brave, even for, you're still talking about it, you're still advocating, you're keeping Nicole's memory alive. What's it like to be an advocate? Because I know for a lot of people it can be difficult and it can be very draining.
I never asked for this. I never wanted to be. I was a mum. I was happy being a mum. Go and bring your kids to karate and football and whatever. A normal, just normal mum. Until all this happened, I never in a million years thought I would.
You never thought you'd lose your this would happen, Yeah, so I mean, in fairness to you.
Yeah, I never thought I would survive myself. I never thought I'd be here today. And then to go out campaigning, I thought, you get knockbacks. I thought, there were some days I thought this is never going to happen. The government didn't really want to know. And then when it goes to Europe then, and I know 100% they're working on it now and they're going on to the next stage in Europe. So it's 100% going to be brought across Europe. And what is it like? It's, as I said, it's something that I never asked for. But it's something that keeps me going. I'm the type of person that doesn't want to sit around with my own thoughts for fitness, and it keeps me busy. As I said, with the schools and the colleges and stuff and all, I know I get benefits out of that. Not me, the kids get benefits, but I also get benefits, because it's keeping me here, it's keeping me busy.
And it gives you peace of mind and things like that as well.
Sorry?
Would it give you peace of mind and things like that, like you're helping people, you're doing good?
Yeah. And then with Europe, I'm happy enough to have it. Nicole's Irish. She has her Irish law. She has her name in the Irish statute books forever. She has a memorandum, and she's the only person in Ireland that has a memorandum in her law with her name in it. I was not happy with that, because obviously I'd give it all away to have Nicole back. But
Obviously.
With Europe now, it's a bonus. I don't have to fight for it. I just have to advocate for it, and try and bring them in there. But I don't have to fight for the European one. I have to fight for the Irish one. So being an advocate, I am one now. As I said, though, it's not something that I said to myself, I can't wait till I get older and I'm going to do a suicide. Bringing a law because I lost my daughter, that's furthest thing on my mind.
No, and you don't, and look, I mean, that never comes into play. No, but I mean, this is something that was thrown on you, you didn't want it to have to happen, and I mean, you're doing a lot of great work, and I mean, obviously pat yourself on the back for it, and I mean, is there anything you're worried about or concerned about with this legislation, with this law? Because I know they've been talking a lot about hate speech laws. We're looking at different agendas and things like that. Is there anything that's concerning you when it comes to trying to bring this legislation into Europe?
No, there's not, and I'll tell you why. I know with this law over here, it's working, and that's all that matters. So if they bring it to the similar one over there, concern, no, I don't have any concerns, because it's not really my problem.
It's not true. No, you're fine. I mean, and you're right too. No, I'm actually 100% agreeing with you.
No, from my head, all right, or whatever. I'm not with the Europe one. Whatever will be, and I'm just taking it in my stride, because I don't need anything else in my head. Now, you said about the hate speech. I'm hoping the hate speech that they're thinking of bringing out isn't part of Cocos law. Because people can turn against Cocos law then. there's a lot in it that doesn't seem to add up. I don't know a hell of a lot about it, so I can't really say. But I'm hoping they don't add. They can add the stalking thing to Cocos Law if they want, because that's still mental.
Psychological abuse, and obviously if somebody's constantly.
Yeah, the hate speech, I hope it's a separate thing altogether, because there's not going to be a lot of people, I'd imagine, going to be liking this hate speech, and I don't really want to tar Nicole Cocos Law. Worry about no, because Cocos Law is doing what it's supposed to be doing over here now, and that's great. And whatever will be in Europe. So no, I'm not worried about anything, and I'm not even. Yeah, it's just a hate speech. I wouldn't like it to be part of Cocos Law.
No, that's fine. That's understandable, and we can respect that, because not a lot of people are too happy about that stuff. And I mean, again, our governments still aren't listening, and Europe aren't actually listening.
When I ran in Cocos Law, I get. I couldn't even count how many messages of people texting me, even now, all the time, constantly, can you help me? Or can you give me advice? I have this problem, and which is great if I can help, but I can't,
You can't help everybody. I mean, you can only do so much.
And Kira, I brought in the law, but now it's in the hands of the guards and the court and solicitors and stuff. So I get so many calls from that, and I do, you're best off ringing the guards, because I brought it in, but I don't rule the law, you know what I mean? You're that's not my department, that's the police and guards.
No.
That do need help, and I wouldn't turn anyone away, but it's just, I'm not the law, do you know what I mean? I brought it in, but I'm not the law, so it's the guards and the solicitors and courts and stuff now, evidence, screenshots, keep everything that...
Keep as much evidence as possible there. Oh no, I 100% agree with you, because I mean, the more they have to go on, the better, the better they can set out. I mean, what advice would you have for anybody, or even young people, or people that are adults, who feel like they're being bullied?
Yeah, do you know what? The only thing I can say is, well, one is don't keep it in your head. Some people will say, oh, it's grand, and they might go away next week, or, it'll be grand in a couple of weeks. It might be, but then again, it mightn't. So don't keep it in your head. There is so many people you can go out there and talk to, and it mightn't necessarily be the big help groups, which is great, but the simple thing is like your family, your friends, your football coach, your drama teacher, whoever it may be, is don't keep it in your head. And now the second thing is, Nicole had nowhere to turn, as I said earlier. She had nothing. I had to lose my little girl for other people to gain legislation, a law to protect them. So use it. Make sure you use it. If you need it, use it. And what I always say to people, Kieran, is, if someone's going down to the guards, say their kids are being bullied or whatever, and the parents are going down, if you show the guards, say, look, this is what happened, and you show them all your screenshots, and you show them all that, and I know this for a fact by other guards, they put that on the computer, but that's all you're doing. You're just showing them. You're not requesting anything. So if parents or whoever goes down to the guards request that, I want this investigated under Cocos Law. So now you're requesting something to be investigated under a law that is now there. But if you just go down and give a statement, that's all you're doing. Request it to be investigated under Cocos Law, and they work so much quicker.
They will. They'll take it a lot more serious, and I suppose people don't usually think of that. Okay, I want this looked at, but I want to look under such and such a law, and it does help to know some of the laws that are out there. Now, you don't have to be an expert in the law, but I mean, if you feel you can, obviously we can. Thankfully, we've Google now. We can Google what's there and what's that, that kind of way. So it's amazing now that you can do that. So what keeps you going in the mornings? What gets you up out of bed, and what drives you to keep pushing on forward and doing what you're doing?
You know, I'll tell you what. Obviously, my boys, right, are a huge part in my life as well.
Of course.
I have to talk and stuff, but I'm not just the man who lost her daughter from suicide. I was someone before that, and now I'm starting to kind of find my feet. I have this friend. He's a fantastic friend. He actually taught me that it's okay to laugh again and smile again. Still missing Nicole at the same time. After Cocos law was passed, I stopped eating. I shut everyone out. I didn't leave my room. He got me back out there again. He got me eating. He gave me a life. He also gave me a new hobby, if you like, in photography. And at the start, the first picture I took, I thought, oh, well, that's actually not too bad, you know. And just kept putting the camera in my hand. And now I have my own camera and my own lenses, and we go out taking photographs all the time. And it's the best therapy that I can find, because once I'm taking that photograph and doing the settings and all, I don't think of anything else, only taking that photograph. So it's given me another. It's given me a hobby and a distraction. I could be sitting in my room crying every day, or even worse, I might not even be here. I am here. I get up every morning. I keep busy, and on the not only on the side of Cocos and stuff. Now I have a hobby. I have great friends. I don't go out. I don't socialise. I don't party, because I feel that I just can't.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, and it is important, obviously, to have a hobby, to have something you like doing, that you can get out there, and obviously you have to live your life. And I'm pretty sure, Nicole, if I don't know what you believe in spiritually, religious wise, or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure she's there saying, "Ma, get out, ma, do this, ma, do that," that kind of way.
Oh, for a fact, I know for a fact she'd be so proud of me.
She would.
I don't think I would. This isn't me. I wouldn't even get into a photograph in school, never mind bloody campaigning. Believe that Nicole has pushed me all the way, because I do believe I have the strength to do it because of Nicole. And I do know she'd be so proud of me. She used to call me Jackers, messing, and I know she'd go, "Yup, Jackers."
Sorry, that's just class. That's just funny now. And
see her again, which I do believe I will. Until I see her again, I'll just continue to keep going and keep making her proud.
I think, you know what, and you are big time. You are making her proud, and I think as well. I mean, it's good you have the bit of faith there, and I think it's important to have faith. Now, I'm not saying go out and be all religious and go to church every day and all that stuff, but it's nice to have some form of spiritual belief that there's something out there, and I think that's. Would you agree that would be a big driving force for a lot of people?
Yeah, 100%. You have, even look, whether it's true or not, you have to believe that you're going to see them again. Yeah, it's just it's nice for me to think that. I do believe it anyway.
Have you been in touch? Have you spoken to other parents who have gone through or are going through similar situations to yourself?
Yeah, when I lost Nicole, I went to a group called HUGG, HUGG, and that group is only for people who have lost people by suicide. Cancer or road traffic accidents by suicide only. So I attended that group, which were absolutely great, because you had people there in the group that understand you're not going mad, that understand everything you're going through, because they're going through suicide as well. So halfway, or I don't even know if it's halfway, but some of the way through, when I was campaigning for Cocos Law, I actually started training to be a facilitator for HUGG. And myself and another girl, Grace, started facilitating the HUGG group in Tala, where I'm originally from, they across from the Shamrock Rovers stadium in the Malvern. we set up a hug group, and myself and Grace facilitated people in the hug group again that have lost people by suicide. So I started helping other people then. So I've been around people that.
So, and I suppose people can look Hug Up online as well, and I mean, unless you want to give it.
GG, and you can also train to be a facilitator if you want. It's Healing Untold Grief.
It's amazing that it's there, you know, and it's amazing that the amount of organisations that people don't actually know exist, and I suppose that's partially what this show is for. Part of what this show is for is to highlight the organisations that are out there, the helps that are out there, because it's here to educate and entertain. And I mean, I suppose, I mean, I do think it's amazing, Jackie, and I do think it's amazing all the work you're doing. You're doing some great work out there. Have you?
Sorry, yeah?
No, go on, work away there.
If people want me in schools or anything, I'm mainly booked out, but there's always days in between or whatever.
Where's your next journey? That's the question I was going to ask you next.
There's people that if they want to, if they look up cocoslaw.ie, bring them to my webpage, and they can look up and see what I'm doing. And there's also I donate on that page, where when I go around to schools, obviously with expenses, it costs
petrol, diesel, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I have been funding that on myself, which I didn't have the money, but now I have the charity to help me with the, just with the expenses, or, as I said, staying over and stuff like that. So if people want to donate, or even just look up to see who I am and what I do, if they ever want me in a club or school or whatever, just look up cocoslaw.ie. It's my website.
Because I mean, and it's not cheap, no. And I mean, I know people will probably be saying things like, "Oh, but you can get up extra early and go to this county, that county." No, it's not that simple to get down to certain counties, and with traffic on the roads and things like that, and with there's the psychological aspect, there's all sorts of aspects to it, you know. So I mean, and
more to it than just hopping in your car and giving a talk, you know.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree with you. By the way, you just mentioned there the I Donate page anyway, so people can just go on. Is that through the Cocos Law website?
Yeah.
That's grand. And Jackie, I have to say, have you any final words for the listeners?
Just, especially the listeners with teenagers, or they don't even have to be teenagers now to get bullied. It's starting at such a younger age. Keep an eye out what your kids are up to. I know they won't keep the passwords. I know they'll change the password if you ask them now. But if you think your child is spending all the time in their room and they're crying or they're distant, look into it and ask them questions, because you just don't know, and as I said, use the law. The law is there to protect people. Now use it, and as I said earlier on as well, the important part is to the listeners out there is just talk and don't keep anything in. And I know I don't know if you have older listeners, but this doesn't only happen to students or stuff.
No, it happens to people of all ages.
At home or wherever, maybe in your child's football club, and people can be nasty, But just speak up and don't let it get out of control. Go and get the help that you need. There is people out there that will help. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you for coming on the program today. Anytime, and thank you. That is Jackie Fox there, talking about Coco's Law after the death of her daughter, Nicole Fox, or Coco as she was nicknamed. You're listening to The Recovery Concept on Liffeysound 96.4 FM. I am on Facebook at Recovery Concept, or Recovery Concept at liffeysoundfm.ie is the email address if you want to get in touch with me that way. There's loads of ways you can get in touch with me. I haven't taken an ad break because to be honest with you, I didn't want to, because I know that, Jackie did have a lot to say, and it's such a serious topic. But I'm going to go for a quick break. After the break, by the way, I'm going to lighten the mood.
Why not? And I have something very interesting to talk about, okay? So I'm going to lighten the mood. Be back with you in a sec. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting to Lucan, this is Liffeysound.
Hi, YouTube.
96.4 FM.
I'm so sorry, YouTube, and you won't hear a lot of the music, the bed music in the background, which kind of upsets me, but we're going to have a bit of a laugh.
Lucan District
You know,
Credit
you
Union
need to have a bit of a laugh.
Cashback car loan. Apply for a car loan and we'll give you a lump sum back towards your car tax or insurance, subject to terms and conditions.
Had me coffee
Call
there.
us today on 0818 297 007 or visit lucancu.ie. Lucan District
I need to
Credit
get that out
Union
of
is
the way.
regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Oh, hello. Is this a good moment? May I music with Mika Howarth, the grave where all your troubles can lay to rest. Out of this world songs from all across the earth, 7 continents, a weekly hour of more than just small talk. I'll be your friend, make you laugh, cringe, and question my sanity.
Never had this show, small talk.
Tune in from 6 on Tuesdays.
Tommy Travers here from Tommy's Top Tunes. They're giving me an extension
I know that's
of
gonna
a
annoy you
2-hour
too.
show now, and it's on a Thursday from 3 to 5. Bring you some quick sets and slow sets and whatever you want in between. So tune in every Thursday from 3 to 5. See you then.
Are you thinking of home improvements, renovations, or an extension? Costs are going up, but our interest
we
rates
know.
are coming down. At Lucan District Credit Union, we offer loans with lower interest rates, and your loan is covered with loan protection insurance for peace of mind, subject to terms and conditions. Apply online at lucancu.ie, on our mobile app, or call us today on 0818 297 007. Lucan District Credit Union is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Liffeysound 96.4 FM.
You're listening to The Recovery Concept with Ciarán Murray on 96.
Wait. Where am I going? This is so unprofessional of me. Oh, there you go. There's that button there. Now that button's working. Everything's in working order. Hello. Didn't see you there. Yeah, didn't see you there. Oh, and I'm questioning my sanity in this. Okay, so I want to lighten the mood for a few minutes, because I know we have a few minutes of the show left. Okay, where am I going? What am I lightening the mood with today? You know what? Every job, every career, every job has its perks. Everything has its perks. Everything in life has perks. It's great. Okay, so I've compiled a list, right, of top 5 jobs with great perks. And I'm not talking about specific companies or even companies, because companies have different ways of doing things depending on who they are, depending on if the boss is sound, If the boss is sound, if he or she is sound, he, she, they, whatever. But anyway, yeah, also, I'm going to try and avoid wages, okay? Because wages is one that, even though a lot of companies, even though a lot of positions have set wages, I think some might differ. Depends, and it depends, it really does. So, I should really, avoid, there's another thing I should really avoid, which is time off, leave time, all that stuff, because a lot of companies do have it set, Like, for instance, I'm not sure when it is, but I think the builders' holidays might be soon. I'm not sure if that's come or gone. Teachers obviously be off, That's on this list, by the way, so I won't talk about it. So number 5 on my list, a chef. What's the perk of being a chef? Well, a chef, you might get free food, you might get free drinks, you get to be the gaffer, you're running the kitchen. Now, a lot of friends of mine are chefs. I have friends that are chefs, right? And actually, I know one I used to karate with her, but yeah, chefs, they're very strict. A lot of ego. I won't say too much about chefs, but fair play to them. Okay, what else is there? Number 4. I'm going to mix number 4 and number 3 on this list together, and they're both dream jobs of mine. I'd love to do if I wasn't someone that was visually impaired. But a rail driver, like a train driver, that'd be so awesome. good benefits, good time off, but if you don't have a code, if you're a professional, you get to sit there on your own and you get to just look out this window and you get to look at the world, and it'd just be amazing. The same for pilots. Truck driver be next on the list, because truck driver, you get to travel on your own, you get to blur the tunage. Awesome. Love it. I'd love to be a truck driver. You have that freedom. So yeah, I mean, truck driver, great. You pull into a garage, you get your chicken roll, although you probably pay half your wages for that chicken roll, and the company unfortunately won't pay for it. Well, it depends on the employer. Okay, so I have that on the list. Oh, what's another one? I didn't put one on this list, right? But I was only thinking about it today, right? So I'm going to scrap my list there. Astronaut. Not everybody's going to be an astronaut, but there's people out there that are astronauts. And what's a perk of that? If you're flying into space, you're looking down at the earth, you're getting to float around like, woo, I'm flying. But those lads go really slow. Lads and lassies go really slow. So it'd be very difficult up there. And by the way, there is still a minute level of gravity in the space station, even though everything's going to be blown around the room, flown around the room, all that sort of stuff, that kind of way. Okay, I'm going to knock off YouTube, by the way, because I'm going to be playing a track in a few minutes. So thanks to YouTube. You can like and subscribe on my YouTube, Kieran Murray. Just type in Kieran Murray into YouTube and you'll see it there. Even type in Liffeysound and you'll probably see these shows. So yeah.